Right, moving on. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has dropped out of the 24 presidential race for the Republican Party, and he released this video on X.
We can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Ron DeSantis, that was a surprise. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to win, but to have pulled out so soon. We've got Ray Addison with us in the studio. Ray, I know you're an American presidential election policy wonk, full stop. Did you see this coming so soon?
Well, about a week ago, he started, his super PAC, Don't Back Down, started relieving staff, and that was a big sign, you know, essentially started backing down, and obviously it's now closed. So that was a big hint. He started cancelling TV interviews. So ahead of his resignation last night, he'd actually cancelled his interviews for this weekend.
Right.
And I think he just went home, maybe went to Florida, had a good look in the mirror. He thought, look, I spent $200 million on Iowa.
It's expensive.
I mean, that's
so
a lot
much
of money.
It is.
30 points behind Trump. OK, he came second, but he was still 30 points behind Trump.
So only do one, Iowa.
For Iowa, that was $200 million. He was polling at something like 6% in New Hampshire, way behind both of the other two candidates. And it just, you know, how much longer can you keep spending money?
So the question people are asking this morning, Ray, is will he run with Trump?
I think it's very unlikely. Firstly, he's got some major problems that is the reason why he's had to drop out. You know, you've got to remember, back in January of 2023, he was only about 10 points behind President Trump. He was seen as, you know, maybe the safe pair of hands who could take over the future of MAGA. But he's got troubles with his presentation style. He's not able to engage with people.
Oh, I don't know. I disagree. My heart's a little broken this morning.
OK, well, you know, there's something for everybody.
I'm a big fan. Well, of course I would be a fan, because he ran Florida. He didn't lock down. They had lower excess mortality than other states. That's where the clear water is between him and Trump. He even said in his speech, didn't he, yesterday, when he was announcing that he wasn't standing anymore, the difference between me and Trump is that Trump still locked down millions of people in a way that I wouldn't have done.
Yeah, I think certainly when it comes to some issues like COVID, maybe like abortion, where he's taken a particular stance, there will be people that were very supportive of that. But in general, his just ability to sort of connect with people. He wouldn't take advice. You know, his wife is a TV news anchor in Florida. You know, he would take her advice but ignore all the people he was paying lots of money to. And so, you know, it was kind of destined to happen if he wasn't going to follow people's, you know, sort of expert advice. So can he run with Trump? It's unlikely. Donald Trump's probably going to pick a woman.
That's what I think.
He hinted a couple of days ago that, you know, Nikki Haley wasn't out of the question, and it kind of makes sense if you think, you know, politicians obviously go at each other when they're campaigning against each other, but then they can very quickly become friends again.
And she is clever.
She's very clever.
Unlike the vice president, who everybody now knows is just a dunce.
Well, I mean, obviously,
Kamala Harris.
Donald Trump made Nikki Haley US ambassador to the UN in 2017. So he's obviously, you know, he says she's very clever, and she's obviously getting fairly good numbers. She's, you know, it's now a two-horse race. She's seen off. She said yesterday, you know, I've seen off like 14 men to get to this point, and so he might sit and think that, you know, I could take her following, combine it with mine, it's going to be sort of unbeatable. Also, if you look at how she's polling, if you look at Biden versus Haley, if she were to become the Republican presidential nomination, she's about 3 points ahead of Biden. Trump's only about 2 points ahead in most states. So if you combine those figures together, it could be a sensible thing to do. But there are other options, of course. I don't know if you guys saw the congressional hearing about anti-Semitism in universities.
This is Vivek Ramaswamy.
No, this is Elise Stefanik, Republican, and she was heading up those questioning of three university presidents, and people saying that was her audition to maybe become the VP.
Yeah, maybe. OK, thank you, Ray.